to a pre-Olympic edition of the Daily Deuce. I'm Gary Graves from just outside Louisville, Kentucky, and in Maryland, the land of pleasant living, of crab cakes and natty boh, John Webster. John, how you doing, my good friend?
Hey man, what's going on? Another great week in sports, having a great time. Gary, I think you'd be a little bit more happy in Maryland today and yesterday because the temperatures are only in 80 and it rained. I think that's absolutely terrible. To be honest with you, I think that sucks. I think the temperature needs to be 95. And we're going to get back to that later on this week, 95 and 100.
But John, I'm telling you, I'm overnighting your favorite weather to you because I mean, right now it's cloudy, but it's kind of muggy here. And it's because of the clouds. I don't think it's going to hit 90, but I'm just saying, whatever I get here, you get a day later. So, just be patient, my friend. Yep.
Oh man, I hope you're right, man. I just
Yeah.
hope you're right.
Well, John, this is one of those weeks I look forward to more than many others because the Olympics will begin on Friday. Um, I don't even know what sports start off first, but I'll just say it like this. More than any other year I can recall in recent memory, I am looking forward to the Team USA basketball participation because I watched the South Sudan game on Saturday, and I was like amazed. And I'll let you do the setup on this, but it's like this team is going to be interesting. The women are going to be interesting too, but in a different way. And but I'll let you drive the car on that one.
Well, Gary, you brought it up. So let's start off with the Olympics. The American team, the Team USA men, uh, won two games. They beat Sudan and they beat Germany, but they struggled in both games. What seems to be the problem, or are these two teams that much better than everybody anticipated?
Um, I think it's both. I'll say it like this. I agree with you on the latter point that both of those squads are much better than people think, particularly Germany. And this is what I say about the Olympics. And if they win the gold medal, which I think they will, it will be more impressive because guess what, John? They're facing the same guys. They're going to face nations with players that they see during an 82 game NBA season. That is the thing. There are no secrets with any of these other nations, particularly Germany, because I mean, how many German players can you think of off the top of your head that are in the NBA right now? They know how to play a lot of these guys. They know how to play that with the ball. They know how with that Olympic ball. They know how to play the lanes. They know how their refereeing is overseas, and I don't think that necessarily gives them an advantage, but it closes the gap. It has closed the gap significantly. I was more surprised, John, by the South Sudan game in a sense that that's still kind of a fledgling program. And of course, there are a couple of players that were on that squad that I'm very familiar with here, um, with hmm, Carly Jones and Madiang, and Gorgie Zhang too, that that had a big hand in really building that program, and they've done a lot in a short period of time. But some of those other names that were on that roster, some of the other players on that roster, where you knew about them, they're not too far from college, being standouts in college, and a couple of them have NBA experience. So again, they know some of those guys. They might be older, but they know a lot of those players, and they do their homework. And again, I have said for a lot of years, everybody says, well, Oscar Schmidt was kind of an outlier, and in fact, he might have been back then because what was that, Brazil that beat them wasn't quite. They just played a whole different style that really just caught the U.S. off guard, which led to the dream team. where we stand right now. Right now, it's just Team USA basketball, not the dream team that we knew from '92. But it took a couple of hard losses against teams that had been together with experienced players, and now you've got experienced players, NBA experienced players that are playing for their home nations, and they're closing the gap. Having said that, I still expect the USA to win the gold medal because they just have more talent. It's just going to be more of a slog. And also keep in mind, John, these are exhibitions, and I think they're still trying to find rotations. And some of these, like say Germany, I think just Germany knew who it was going to play. The US, not so much. They're still trying to figure it out. But I will give LeBron credit for saving the team both times. And especially in Saturday's game, there was no doubt in my mind who they were going to go to in those final 8 seconds, well, the final 22 seconds. And I said, don't settle for a three. And LeBron drove the lane for a easier layup than even I expected. But I said that's the play that they needed because even though you have Steph Curry on that squad, you've got some 3-point shooters. We say all the time, John, 2-pointers still work, especially in a 1-point game.
Is it me, or does it seem like Team USA is still having challenges in defending the 3-point shot?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that one. Because, well, frankly, they don't defend it in the NBA that well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but I guess and I agree with you, but I guess my thing is, if you know they're coming with a three, like Germany, and they got the Wagner brothers, they got if I said that correctly, and they got
I think it's
Schroeder,
Wagner. I think that's how.
Wagner, yeah,
Yeah.
Wagner, and then they had Schroeder, and then the Sudan team. I can't think of the kids' names, and they were consistent on the threes, and I guess
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mario Chirac was one that I
yeah,
remember. But
yeah.
Carly Jones, who played for Louisville,
Mm.
I mean, yeah, he was a spark plug a few years ago. I was surprised that he was on that team, but I wasn't surprised what he was able to do, with a green light from, for South Sudan.
Yeah, and I don't profess to be a basketball aficionado or coach or
Huh?
anything like that,
What?
but what
What?
I will say, what I will say, and it sounds crazy. Sometimes the best defense on a 3-point shooting team is a zone, and I know that sounds crazy and counterproductive, but if
Wait, hold on,
if
John. I got Jim Boeheim on the line for you. Uh, am I right?
I mean, to me, if I'm not doing a 2-2-3 or 2-1-2, and the guards are shooting not corner threes, but they're shooting threes from on the top of the key, I'm going 3-2. And I guess for me, I got to look at what I have defensively. Some of the players that Team USA has are very good players, but they may not be the best. Some of the guards, I will say, some of the wing players may not be the best at defending one-on-one. Now, I think the best wing player they have on defense, in my personal opinion, is Derek White. I think
Yeah.
I think he defends well, and also Drew Holiday. I think those two defend very well. But the others that you have there are not as known for their defensive prowess as they're known for other parts of their game.
Yeah.
So I think you could accomplish more by coming with a zone and running out at them. And shoot, I mean, when you think about it, you got Adebayo and you have Anthony Davis and you have Embiid. I'm just calling out big men now. And then you got Halliburton. You know, I'm telling you, I would go 3-2 and I would have White Holiday driving you crazy, and then I probably put a Halliburton or somebody out there on the as the other up top, and then down low I'm going Davis and Adebayo. Davis, because Davis is the most, and again, my personal opinion, the most athletic and complete big man. Him and Adebayo. I
when he's
think,
healthy.
yeah, yeah. And I take Gary, I'll take his health before I take Embiid's health. And that
Oh, exactly. Yeah. John, again, hey, preach, bro, because
yeah, so that's what I would do. I would try to take advantage of their ability to clear the boards, defend shots, block shots, and get that ball out on a break.
mhm.
That's just, but
Yeah.
Steve Kerr has to do what he thinks is best, and maybe that's not best. So, and he would know
And
better than me.
well, you mentioned the key name. Steve Kerr has got to understand the importance of zone against a lot of these foreign teams that can shoot the three. He should already know it by having the Splash Brothers all those years. Now it's just the Splash Brother. He should really know that, but defending the three in the NBA is different than defending the three international play. You have to put more. He has to put more of an emphasis on it in this round and in this competition than in the NBA because when he's had the luxury all these years of the best defense is a great offense. You hope that Draymond Green can, you look for him to defend. You look for him to annoy and harass and do what he does. And you relied for a lot of years on the Splash Brothers just answering a three with another three or a string of threes. And again, this is a whole different ball game. No pun intended, and he's just got to emphasize to these guys. And I agree with you. I don't know why zones are why zones are such anathema to the NBA because really, John, they don't require a whole lot of effort. You don't have to be running with a guy and moving. Um, and if you're as effective in terms of cutting off passing lanes or driving lanes or something like that, all you just have to be good lateral. I mean, you're a coach, so am I right on that?
Yeah,
You just have to
with the
be out
zone,
like
yeah,
this or like this.
and with the zone, you're defending an area
Yeah.
as opposed to defending a person. And for me, when I was coaching younger kids, it's easier to show them how to defend an area in the beginning as
Hmm.
opposed to showing them how to follow Gary Graves around all over the court and they be able to see Gary and see the ball. See Gary, see the ball. Now see the basket, see Gary, see the ball.
Yeah.
That's that's a little bit, that takes time. But we'll see what happens with him, Gary. I agree with you. I also say what I said last week and you asked me about it. They are very good on paper. They still have to go and win the game.
Hmm.
And I I would venture to say maybe they got caught believing their press clippings in the Sudan game because they were a 43-point favorite for Sudan, which was absolutely ridiculous that they were even favored like that.
Yeah.
And the matter of fact, Steve Kerr to start the second half started with the bench. He went with Adebayo. I think he had Derek White in the game. He had Jason Tatum in the game. And the thing I liked about Tatum was, very good player, but he was driving to the basket and looking for the fouls. He was passing
Hmm.
up his jump shot. He was going straight to the basket, trying to get that contact, and that's how they got back in the game with the second unit. Then they brought the first unit back in, and then they end up pulling it out at the end. But we'll
Yeah.
see what's going to happen.
Well,
I think the end of this week, the Olympics start, so they gotta get it in gear, Gary. Find the starting five, go with the starting five. Also, there's the issue about Kevin Durant and his calf. Again, this is just me and me being no fun. If
mm,
I'm Phoenix, I'm pulling him out. That's just me. I'm pulling him out if I'm Phoenix because I don't need him. And I get it. He says it's not a chance for the Achilles. Fine. But I don't need these calf injuries really seem strange to me with the NBA season as it went
Yeah,
on this year. And I would want him to sit out and not play. That's just me. And
yeah,
then they would have to come up with another player to go in to the on the roster. I mean, to me, that player, if Durant could not play, and I admit I've always said he's one of my favorites, but I think he would be the right fit for this team, would be Jaylen Brown. That's just my personal opinion. I
yeah.
think
He's too busy, chilling with Angel and Kiss Ray, right now.
but
And
I think
but I
but
mean,
you know
would he be ready if
I
is he an
I,
alternate? I that's the thing I can't remember. Is
I
he
don't
an
even know. I don't even know how it works. But from going back to what we talked about earlier about that defensive pressure that you need to withstand the 3-point barrage that you're going to face and extending your defense out, he's another perfect fit to go up on top of zone or man. He's a perfect fit. He can play the 1, the 2, the 3, and a little bit of 4. And that's what you need. You need flexibility and somebody that can do multiple things on the court. And he can. And I just think he would be perfect. You go back to that first team. I know we got to move to another subject and go back to the first team of the dream team, number one. They had a lot of interchangeable parts, but what they had most was a strong defense.
Mhm.
Strong defense,
Yeah,
with Jordan and Magic Johnson. And then you had Ewan and Robinson back there as aircraft carriers. Strong defense, man. And that's what this team needs to have. Strong defense will lead to a good offense, which will lead to the championship.
yeah. Well, I will move on, but I'm just going to say this: South Sudan is in Group C with USA. Um, I'll say it like this: USA will win the gold medal, but they will lose a game in pool play. They will, because you can't play with fire at this point, and I think they will play with fire, but they will learn from it. So that's my prediction. Again, South Sudan kind of gave me an indication of how they might play them in the Olympics, and it wouldn't surprise me if they got them the second time around. But I think they will adjust to it. It'll take a loss for them to really kind of figure out how to play this international game. Quickly, John, the women's side. I really enjoyed the WNBA All-Star Game slash exhibition. The WNBA squad won, and Arike Ogunbowale made a case for being on that team. But again, that team is so loaded. Who do you drop to put her on there? I don't know anybody that you would pull off of that team. That just shows the depth of the WNBA. And I think even though it was a loss for the women's team, that they will steamroll the competition again for the gold medal. Your thoughts?
I enjoyed watching the game. I thought it was really great for basketball, and
Mm-hmm.
I call her Miss Notre Dame because I'm not even going to do like you and try to pronounce the last name. I'll just say Miss Notre Dame, and she's
We'll settle for Arike.
yeah, she's a bad mamma jamma. Always has been, even when she hit the shot to
Yeah.
win the national championship. You know, um,
The two threes from the same spot. Hmm.
I mean, she's unreal. And then for me, Caitlin Clark is running a break, and on one side you got Angel Reese, and on the other wing is Miss Notre Dame. How beautiful is that? And you got your choice of where you're going with the ball, and because you can't double anybody, you got to play everybody straight up because they all can do their thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos for the game. I also will say this, talk about players or players who were omitted from the Team USA women's team. And it just goes to show you how good of a how good of a product the WNBA is, and how they have some really great ball players.
Yeah,
So
it's a deep talent pool, and yeah, so deep that you could pick a team, months in advance as they did. And yeah, there were going to be some hurt feelings, but I mean, just the numbers are what the numbers are, and I have no doubt that this roster that's going to Paris is going to steamroll because they have, and there's nobody on any of these other nations that I can see that can give them any kind of game. You talk about 43 point spread on the men's side. I mean, I think that's it's more applicable on the women's side, just how dominant they've been in recent years, recent Olympics rather. I can't even remember the last time they lost a game, but yeah, I'm not worried about them.
yeah, they're not going to lose a game, and they're going to be gold medalists. So,
Yeah.
and I'm going to enjoy watching them just like I enjoy watching the men. I don't know, and like I said, Gary, I know we got to move on. I'll just say I don't know if I see the men. You say they're going to lose a game in pool play. I would hope they don't, but we'll see.
Hmm. Training camp, NFL training camps open up this week.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna let you drive the bus on Washington. I'm gonna just talk about this with Baltimore, and I'm just gonna leave it at this. If Baltimore doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, I'm not picking them as a favorite, but I think that window that they had closed when they lost last year. There's still a chance, but if they don't win it this year, if they don't even get to the Super Bowl, I doubt if they'll win it with Lamar Jackson, and it won't be because of Lamar Jackson.
Wow, you said a lot right there, Gary. I'll just say this. I think this year's team, it's going to be hard for them, the Ravens, that is, to get back to the Super Bowl. Like on defense, they lost their coordinator and two other high-level coaches. They have Zach Orr as the defensive coach. They lost multiple players from the defense. Granted, they still have Roquan Smith and Keith Van Noy and Kyle Hamilton, but that's only 3 out of 11. You know,
Mhm.
they gotta you they picked up some good acquisitions, but they had to produce. I don't know if those acquisitions can produce. On the offensive side, they picked up two free agents, a free agent guard and a free agent center, and they drafted, I think, a left tackle. I just think this year, and Baltimore Ravens fans don't want to hear this. This year may be a rebuilding year for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know with what they have right now. And granted, I'll say it for you, Gary. Baltimore Ravens fans don't want to hear about rebuilding. They want something now. I get it. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Ravens should have beat the Chiefs last year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the biggest problem that this whole situation we're in now. And I just don't know if this year's team. Sometimes the team that's not as good as the other team wins, but I just don't know if this team that they have right now is set up. They'll win 9 or 10 games, but I don't know if they can make a run to the Super Bowl, Gary.
yeah. I think they're going to have to work hard to win 9 games. I think they can. I'm sorry, I said 9 games. 10. I think it's going to be hard for them to win 10 games, especially with that division. That whole division is stacked. I mean, it's it's
Mm-hmm.
it's talented.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland is right there. Is primed to make a move. Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, if he stays healthy, if they can keep him upright, give him protection. That's always the question with Cincinnati. I love Joe Burrow. I think he makes things happen, but he can't do anything if he's like under siege. Has nothing to do with him, has everything to do with the offensive line. We'll get into that as camp goes on.
And they need to
Um,
sign Jamar Chase to an extension.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, they do. Like yesterday,
Yep.
eliminate any kind of distractions. But again, that that division I think is probably the most wide open in in the NFL, and I think Baltimore is really going to have their hands full.
We'll
Sorry about
see,
the
man.
noise.
We'll see, man. The noise is great. It gives the sound effect of like we're thinking, Gary. I like that. You need to do that more often.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's kind of dangerous. But
Yeah.
John, as we wrap this up, let's talk about the Orioles. We
Hey,
didn't
man.
hold up. Before we get to that, give me your thoughts on the Commanders and practice.
The veterans came in yesterday. Um, they got Jaden Daniels as the number 2 pick. They brought in a lot of new players. On the defensive side, they got Joe Witt, who comes over from Dallas to be the defensive coordinator. Dan Quinn, I think, as well as Adam Peters, is putting together a really strong product there. Kudos to Josh Harris and what they're doing. I think it's still early for me. I won't make a final prediction. I'll just say I think they're going to surprise some people, Gary. I think they really are. I think Terry McLaurin is going to have a really good season this year. Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator, I think will help Jaden Daniels. Uh, I think Brian Robinson is in a better situation now as a running back than he's ever been, and I'm a big Brian Robinson fan. So I like that. They've made some changes on defense where they traded Montez Sweat, they traded Chase Young, so they've made some adjustments there. I don't
That still
honestly,
hurts a year
yeah,
later
I
hearing
honestly
that one.
I don't I would not have traded Chase Young.
Yeah,
Honestly, I wouldn't have traded either one of them. To be honest
yeah,
with you, I
yeah.
would have kept both. I would have kept both ends, and I probably would have traded the tackles. That's just me, or I just would have kept them all and just tried to work it. I think it's hard to find a motor like Chase Young, and it's hard to find a motor like Montez Sweat on those ends. So I think that's going to be a struggle for them this year on the defensive side. I think they'll be strong in the interior with John Allen, and I forget the other guy's name up in that interior. So we'll see what it's going to be. But I will say this: they will surprise some people, and they will continue on the good days of not having a previous owner and have the days of Josh Harris. And I think that's going to help them continue to improve not only on the field but off the field as well.
Yep, yep. But John, I think we have to wrap it up. We'll have to table the Orioles till next time. Folks, watch sports. Watch plenty of sports because the Olympics, greatest event on earth, everything you could possibly imagine, swimming, skateboarding. Yes, skateboarding. There's even breakdancing in the Olympics. I never thought of that as a sport, but hey, it's awarding a medal, so watch it. Come back and see us. John, take us home, bro.
Hey, another great week in sports. Gary, thanks for being here with us. This was a lot of fun, but like Gary said, watch some sports, watch the Olympics, watch gymnastics, watch soccer, watch baseball, watch softball, watch boxing, watch a little bit of everything. And like I said last week, don't take your eyes off of cricket. It's coming. Watch some sports, and we'll see you again real soon. Take care.